Hello, friends. Welcome to another edition of Speaking Tips with Ravi. There are so many topics I wanted to cover, but for the past few weeks, I have been under the weather, so it took me some time to finally talk about what could be really important in a speech. And to me, one of the very important, that a lot of things are important, but one of the very important part of the speech is the end of the speech. I always think and always try to come up with something which is effective. If you are doing a motivational speech, it's always good to end your speech on call to action, like motivate or inspire your audience. If you are giving a technical presentation, it's always good to sum it up about what you covered, the main points of the technical presentation. So summarize. But what if you are in a public space where you have to do a question and answer session, or you are trying to get feedback from the public for a major project that public input is going to feed how the project will proceed? And I would like to share some ideas with you. What we call as the question and answer. The most common format is to give a presentation and then set about two-thirds of the, if it is 5 minutes, then you set about 10 minutes of question and answer session, and that's it. And I was thinking maybe that is not a good way to end your speech. Maybe there's a better way to end the speech. So what I would recommend is, whenever you're doing a question and answer session, summarize the input or the questions that were asked, especially when you have a wide audience. The diversity in the crowd may make it difficult. So summarizing the questions that were asked, or summarizing the gist of the whole presentation, is always good. That also gives you the opportunity to do a follow-up. For example, today we ran out of time. We have covered these questions, but I see there is much more to be gained. So I'm going to send out a note as a follow-up. That could be a good way to end the speech. So people are looking forward to that. Another way is, every time you get a question, you paraphrase it. So people may ask questions, and sometimes it's hard for people in the if the question is being asked in the front, so people in the back may not know what was asked. So when you paraphrase, there are two benefits. You are repeating the question, giving you time to think about possible responses, and people who are sitting in the back are also able to hear it. And not to mention, the person who asked the question has an opportunity to say, yeah, that's exactly what I asked, or that's what I meant. So when you paraphrase, it becomes easier for you to remember them in the end, because once you have internalized it, you are able to really give some good feedback. So, friends, remember, you are the speaker. You get to control or influence the environment. So be aware of that. So instead of simply ending your speech, end your speech on a note of inspiration, motivation, if it's a motivational, inspirational speech. If it is just giving a technical presentation, summarize it. Everything that was covered, nicely summarized. And finally, in question and answer session, do a wrap up where you are emphasizing the whole presentation, and then you are also covering up what was being asked. That will demonstrate the good listening skills and the observation skills you have. Hope you find this tip helpful. Feel free to connect with me with any questions you have or anything that you'd like to see in these sessions. Until then, bye.